What's up, college baseball fans? Welcome to the College World Series Finals edition of the 11.7 podcast. The gang is all back. And listen, before anybody in the comments says, like, oh, it's nice for you guys to be back. You do this every year, one podcast a week in the College World Series. Like, no, duh, guys. Like, there's one game going on at a time. And there's really not like a whole lot to talk about. Plus, we got a lot of moving parts. This is not an excuse, but it's just hard for all three of us to find time together because Jack is boots on the ground or flops on the ground inside the stadium from basically 9 a.m. to midnight, and we want to make sure that everybody's all here so we can talk about it. So our last episode was last week to preview the College World Series, and this week we're previewing the finals. Like we're already there, and I want to say one more thing. I personally hate how it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the three games. It should be Friday, Saturday, and then if there is a game three, it should be Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN.
No doubt.
Like that's the way it should be. But anyways, that's besides the point. What year was it? 2016 that it was Monday, Tuesday,
Coastal.
Wednesday.
Coastal played on a Tuesday at noon because of a rain out.
Yeah, it was crazy. So obviously it's nice to have these games on national television and ESPN and all that, but we're still at a point where we have to work around time slots and like different events and everything. So that's stupid. But besides the point, we have probably the two most consistent teams all year facing off for a national championship. Each team's very first national championship is on the line. The Tennessee Volunteers, coached by Tony Vitello, and the Texas A&M Aggies, coached by Jim Schlossnagle. That is kind of the headline, right? What people don't understand is these are probably two of maybe the top two, but two of the top five coaching staffs in general. Like you look at the assistant coaches on both of these teams, and it's like these guys are all going to be head coaches whenever they want. Like it loaded assistant coaches, player development, strength staff, facilities. Like these are two teams that have really invested in college baseball over the last decade, and look where they're at now. So there is hope for any kind of college baseball team that wants to put in the investments in and spend the money because that's where we're at now. So, anyways, I've blabbered on. Dimitri, opening thoughts out of you. What's going on?
I was just going to say one thing about investing and coaching and stuff like that. Tennessee went after their guy, got Tony Vitello. They wanted him, they got him. Texas A&M went to Fort Worth, Texas, said, this is our guy, we're going to take him from you. They went and got Schlossnagle. Number 3, Florida State. They could have stuck with Mike Martin Jr., but they said, no, we're going to go get our guy. It's our opportunity to go get him. They went and got Lynn Chair. North Carolina. Oh, my God. What's his name?
Scott Ford.
Scott Ford. Carolina head coach. What's his name, too? Before Scott Ford? The legendary.
Fox.
Huh?
Yeah, Fox.
Mike Fox. He retired. They went and got their guy. He was already in Carolina, but they knew he was their guy, so they went and got him. The moral of the story is look at who is ending up in the finals every year. It is programs that are going after the guy. The best available, not even just the best available or whatever. It's the guy they want. Open the checkbook, go get that motherfucker. We're going to go get him. We're not going to take no for an answer. And so I think when you look around the country and you see South Carolina, you see these programs that are just kind of settling. I think South Carolina went and got Paul Maneri. That's not their guy. They just took a guy.
I would disagree. Wait, I would disagree on that.
But it could be if 3 years looking back now, I could regret saying this because Paul Maneri was retired sitting on the couch. But South Carolina said, no, this is the guy we want. They didn't go get the best available, the hot commodity from some major program. They went and got their guy. So I could be wrong in saying Paul Maneri probably is the guy that they wanted. So the moral of the story is, if you're a college program, you're listening to this, you're in AD, go get your fucking guy. If you want to be in Omaha, if you want to be at the end, go get your guy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously every single coach in Omaha this year like has that established record and rapport around the game. But you opened up worms that I want to close up here really quick. I think it was very strategic of what South Carolina did. Like they had a whole roster of guys that were potentially going to enter the transfer portal. Mostly, like let's just be honest. Like Ethan Petrie was the guy that they were scared of losing. I know Petrie is really close with Monty Lee, their assistant coach, former Clemson guy. Maybe South Carolina was like, hey, maybe you're not ready to be the South Carolina head coach, Coach Lee. We're going to keep you on the staff. We're going to go get a guy that's already retired, and Paul Manarian has already had a really good career. Let's bring him in for a couple of years and let him groom you to become the next head coach of South Carolina. Because like I still believe in Monty Lee. Obviously, like he had some bad years at Clemson, but the players love him. And like talking to the guys at South Carolina, like they all want to fight for him. It felt like they all wanted Monty Lee to be the head coach. And instead of like making that jump for South Carolina and say, hey, we're just going to get the Clemson guy from a couple of years ago, they're like, we're going to get Paul Maneri, a guy that knows how to like run a program, and then we'll let the assistants take over and really run the program. So that's my opinion on that situation. But look, two things. One, it's been 6 minutes and Jack hasn't talked yet, and he's got stories for days at Omaha. And two, we don't need to worry about South Carolina right now. We got two teams, Tennessee Volunteers and the Texas A&M Aggies, fighting for all the glory. Like this is something that can not only like sustain programs, but we talk about programs that are on autopilot every year. You win a national championship, you're on autopilot. Like kids are going to want to come to you and play for you, and there's going to be more money invested into each sport. So, Jack, man, I want you to. I mean, everybody obviously knows about your relationships with Tennessee and the program, and like how they took you under your wing, not only last summer in Omaha, but this fall as well. So, talk to us about Tennessee first. Let's see what the vibes are like in the locker room and post game, pre game, all that, and like just let the people know kind of your opinion on being face to face with a lot of these star players that are going to be playing in the major leagues in 12 months.
I think it's cool because you guys mentioned it. Like, I think to me, this is the first time in the last 2 years. Ben and Dimitri, you guys are better college baseball historians than I am. When's the last time that we could, like, without a shadow of a doubt, go, these are the best two teams, cut and dry, right? Last year, I think we could say that with LSU and Florida. This year, cut and dry, these are the best two teams in the country, not even close. I'll dive into Tennessee, and I know people have been making fun of me for glazing the Volunteers all year, but there's this idea that like even A&M, right? You come into this World Series as the hunter instead of the hunted, even though you're the 3 seed, because you've had these really roster sustaining, changing injuries that all of a sudden you got a fresh new face. Haven't flinched, not a loss in the postseason this year. Being around that dugout, man, it is like the utmost confidence and like I would just say pure joy. It's almost they're becoming overplayed. I hit it day one when I got to see those guys just because of my previous relationship with Brady Montgomery. But like, there's a reason that the NCAA just keeps showing you videos of their guys hugging on the guy because he's that damn contagious, right? I knew it. I said it going into this thing that he was going to play a integral role and then making a run to the national championship, and he has. That's why they're here, right? Like there's this leadership, there's this like true love for each other. Hey, Shot just keeps telling each other like I get to play with my best friends on the world's biggest stage. Like, think about that. Like, think about getting to play wiffle ball with your best friends in the backyard. I get to do that in freaking Charles Schwab Field. Like, that's cool. That's the overall vibe with A&M. Tennessee is fun because there is this idea that, you get to know dudes for over a sustained period of time. Like, you get to understand what makes them tick. We interviewed Kirby and Xander Sechrist, Kirby Connell and Xander Sechrist in November. I asked Tony Vitello, like, who's the fabric? I want to know who the core of this Tennessee baseball team. If you wanted to teach me what it meant to be a volunteer, I want your guy. He goes, well, I got 2. And he was spot on, right? Xander was a midweek pitcher his entire career. Kirby was like the lovable mustache guy coming out of the pen for an inning or 2 for a lefty. Now they're national superstars. Like, there is a sense of pride, not in like we knew that they were the guys for it. No, but because like this is happening to really awesome human beings. Like, all of this love, all of this success is happening to incredible human beings. When you talk about like Tennessee as a whole, you're going to call me crazy. Like, that 22 team we said is one of the greatest regular season college baseball teams of all time, right? They took on all of this weight and all of this pressure and now they've got guys and leaders, right? Christian Moore and Blake Burke, who were the freshmen, the villains. Now they've got old dudes in that locker room like Xander and Kirby. And it's one of the parts and pieces that like people are starting to miss. People hated Tennessee volunteer baseball. Now they've got these lovable figures, and it's not an accident they're winning. They had the talent 2-3 years ago. They had the talent last year. This year, they're insanely talented, but all of a sudden, they've got this chip on their shoulder and this just pure joy of being around each other, kind of like I mentioned with A&M. And it's not an accident that they barreled through Omaha, and it's not an accident that they scored 4 runs against FSU in the ninth inning. They're fearless. Like, they're just playing with house money, even though they're the number 1 team in the country. Like, that's not normal. And I think it has a lot to do with the leadership and the veterans at the top. So you want to know the vibes. I'm currently sitting in their hotel right now. I've gotten to get to know the support staff a little bit better throughout the week, and I've gotten to enjoy and celebrate these highs. You would have no idea that they're playing for a national championship this weekend. Like, that's the best way I could put it. You would have no idea. Pizza and drinks and everyone's just having a good time, right? You'd have no idea. They're just showing up, rolling to the ballpark, and having fun with their buddies.
Hey, 2 things. That's awesome. Number one, I saw a video of Vitello's press conference. We basically talked about what it means to him, success. He basically talked about how success is not about winning a national championship. It's not about this or that. It's about the program and what you define yourself as success. And he went in depth. If you want to go in depth about what he talked about, go watch it. I highly recommend it. It was super cool. It gave me a perspective. What I sat back after, I was like, what do I consider success? So Tony V gets it. He really gets it. For him, success might be making these guys best players, best human beings possible, on and off the field. Success to him might be making it to Omaha, because that means then you're one of the best 18 in the country. Success for someone else might be winning a national championship, or for a mid-major program, making a regional. Whatever it is, success, Tony V gets it. Number 2, Jack. Tennessee didn't beat Florida State. That's all I'm going to say. Tennessee did not beat Florida State.
For anybody that's new, Dimitri is referring to the check swing call on Blake Burke in the game 1 of the college. Well, I guess technically game 2, but day 1 of the College World Series, there was a check swing call that. He definitely swung, but at the end of the day, bad balls happen. I totally understand. I understand the umpire's point of view. Like, I don't want to end such a classic game on a check swing call.
Never know.
Let the players play it out. Like, let the ball be live and finish it out the right way. But obviously, look, if that game gets flipped, maybe Florida State's in this position. Maybe they're playing today, at the very least. But when it's all said and done, the Tennessee Volunteers showed a lot in that game, as far as coming back from a huge deficit, chipping away, and having their star players show up in big moments. Which, you look at it now, out of the 4 teams that were left, talking semifinals, everybody had star players going into the regionals, but the ones that consistently did it every single day, those star players propelled their teams into the College World Series. Think about Vance Honeycutt, what he did with North Carolina, superstar moments, and Jack Caglione, what he did, and Brandon Neely from Florida, put them in this position. Obviously Christian Moore and Blake Burke and those guys, put Tennessee in this position. What James Tibbs did in the regionals and super regionals and even Omaha. Actually, there's about 8 guys on Florida State that went off, but. But then you look at the superstars that didn't quite show up. Travis Bazzana did not play well in that super regional. His team didn't make it to Omaha. Same thing with Hagen Smith. He got lit up in the regional, and they didn't make it out of the regional. So it really is a testament to star power goes a long way in college baseball. If your stud is going hard and being very successful, your team's going to be successful. And it sucks because Braden Montgomery, for anybody that doesn't know, is All-American, transfer from Stanford, number 1 player in the transfer portal last year. His season gets cut short in the Super Regional for breaking his ankle against Oregon. But what Texas A&M did was not only did their other star players step up, but guys like Jeff Kent's son, Caden Kent, comes in and is hitting 450 since replacing him over the last 6 games. So it's the depth, and I don't know. To me, star players will always either fold or they will excel. And the teams that have their star players excel, they're going to be in the tournament the longest. But everybody's season comes to an end at some point. And it it's just a really, really cool tournament. Like the College World Series is one of the coolest tournaments out there because
It's the coolest.
there's just so many storylines, and there's a lot of things that you could project and you can predict. Like college baseball gambling is the hardest sport out there because the variance is so high, right? Like anything can happen on any day. And to go back to Dimitri's point, like that check swing could have potentially changed the whole realm of this College World Series. Like the dominoes would not have fallen the same way.
If you break it, definitely not. Like, definitely not. Florida, I will say this hand up, man. Link Jarrett was, like, so inspiring to be around. I underestimated the heck out of Florida State. It's like,
They'll fucking be back.
yeah. Oh, dude, they are so good and they're so young. And to your point, like the Jaime Ferrer kid, like if you didn't know about him, you sure as hell do now. Like they were so damn impressive this week. It was just the question mark that Dimitri that you brought up, and I'll echo what Link Jarrett said. I've got 2 points of views, and people are going to call me a Tennessee homer. I'm just going to tell you what Link said. Should have never been in that position. Should have never put. We were upset 6. Should have never been in the position. Kudos to Blake Burke when the whole place is booing him Florida State side. The very next pitch, just lacing a clinical baseball through the middle of the field, not getting too big, not letting the moment rise above him, and just staying within himself and hitting a game time turn. He goes, that was so impressive for that kid to pull that off in that moment. Link Jarrett's words, not mine. Second, March Madness, 10 seconds on the clock. Star player with the ball in his hands, dribble 5, 4, 3, make a move to the basket, Euro step towards the rim. He gets bumped. They're never going to call that foul.
Never going to call it.
It's never going to happen. Not now, not ever. It didn't matter that it was Tennessee. It wouldn't have mattered if it was Florida State in the box. You have to play this thing through, right? That's the beauty of this thing. It's kind of like watching red zone NFL football, right? We watch a guy clearly toe tap in the back corner of the end zone. The officials missed the call. We're like, how the hell did you miss that? You guys were running 25 miles per hour and just got tackled by a grown man. Like, they slow it down. You capture that moment. That's the beauty of the human element of baseball, right? Like there are thousands of those positions where, hey, you go one way or the other. Man, we're looking at a totally different history book. But I think that's been the coolest part of this week, right? Hey, Vegas might not know it because it's difficult. They knew this week. Every money line betting favorite has won every game.
Yeah. If you're hunting dogs, you're in the hole big time.
No, you're defeated. You're like JD right here. 0. You haven't won a bet.
You got it.
Favorites, I think, are 10-0 in the College World Series, and when we're talking favorites, we mean just like Vegas odds, money line favorites. I think are 10-0 in the College World Series, which is nuts to think about. Look, we spent a lot of time talking about Tennessee. I do want to give A&M their flowers, right? Like Dimitri touched on it earlier. A few years ago, they kind of shocked the college baseball world and went and stole a guy from one of the Omaha, very familiar team with Omaha. TCU built this dynasty in Fort Worth and private school, unlimited money. And A&M was able to grab the coach that really built TCU baseball into something. Like, it was nothing. And I was always, nostalgically tied into TCU because every year in high school, we would look forward to those preseason hype videos that TCU would release, like the Quiet Confidence, and I forget the other ones, but those would come out in January, and every high schooler and pretty much everybody would watch these videos. So I always liked TCU growing up because it was like, man, they make it more relatable to the everyday person. But with that being said, A&M shocks the college baseball world, gives Jim Schlossnagle unlimited money, and says go build a staff, a coaching staff, go get the players that you need, and we trust you with the keys to the palace of Bluebell Park. This is yours, go get it. And they were super successful year one, and they made it College World Series semifinals, and nobody was expecting that. This was coming after years when they had Asa Lacy and John Doxaxis and some major league caliber players that never really succeeded into Omaha. But they took a team that was very young and not very experienced to College World Series semifinals in 2022. They had a very bad year last year, right? And it felt like everybody was down on A&M coming into this year. Texas A&M was probably picked to finish, in my guess, 8th to 10th in the SEC, maybe worse preseason. But I got a phone call in January from Nolan Kane, their assistant coach, former pitcher at LSU, and has just been like a dog in the college baseball recruiting world and player development world. I get a phone call from him, and he's like, Ben, I just want to talk to you about our team at A&M. Like, I'm so excited about this group, and like I love that we're being overlooked and overshadowed. And like, can I have 10 minutes of your time so I can tell you about our team so that you guys can like focus and like basically keep up with us in the beginning part of the season and talk good about us, right? Like we don't want to catch anybody by surprise. I'm like, yeah, coach, let's talk. We ended up talking for like 2 hours, and he was so high on like Grahovic and Hayden Schott coming over from Columbia, and like in Jackson Appel. Like he was so bought in on this team because he's like, they do things outside of practice and like outside of inter squads. Like they are a group, they are tied together, and like everybody, he's like, I'll be honest, like I didn't know how the Braden Montgomery situation would be. Like people might know his NIL deals, or like people might know how much money he's like. Braden Montgomery has been the glue to this all. Like he is the ultimate team guy, and people rally behind him. He's like same thing with Hayden Schott, and so like that stuck with me throughout the year, and I think that's why I actually picked A&M to win the SEC in our preseason show. But he was like, this is a team that is more than just individuals. And man, what not only Schlossnagel's done, but I mentioned the assistant coaches very early in the show. Dude, like we're talking about Michael Early, who was the 11.7 very first guest in 2019 when he was hitting coach at Arizona State. Like he's on the staff, and like he is, if he's not the highest paid assistant coach in the country, he needs to be. Max, is it Weiner or Weiner?
It is Max Weiner. He's the arm farm. Just call him the arm farm.
The arm farm. I mean, look, nobody could have predicted what the arm farm, Max Weiner, could have done with this pitching staff. Like, holy cow, guys. Like, he took one of the worst pitching staffs in the SEC last year and have just rolled out guys inning after inning. It doesn't matter if like Chris Cortez did not have his A stuff yesterday. They found out in 8 pitches, and they're like, all right, we're going to pull out our future All-American closer, and we're going to put in a new guy. Like,
I was so shocked. Like, damn, like, these guys get it. They said they don't care who it is. They wouldn't have got his ass out of the game.
Real quick. So it's like those like A&M is mastering the chessboard right now. Like they're making every right move, every replacement, adjustments. And like that's why I'm so fascinated about this series, because like in my opinion, Tennessee has way more talent on the field than A&M. But at the same time, like sometimes it's those flip a coin situations where if something comes up, like who's going to make the right decision? And I think A&M like could potentially put themselves in better situations. But on the flip side, like Tennessee's coaching staff, Elander and Anderson and Jackson, I believe, is their other assistant coach. Like those guys could go get head coaching jobs tomorrow, and programs would be like so thrilled to have them. It's just look, we're mid-major guys, and like we root for the underdogs, but sometimes it is nice to have a College World Series where it's not Vanderbilt versus Michigan, where everybody knows Vanderbilt's a more talented team and is going to win. Like last year with Florida versus LSU, Wake Forest was in the mix too, who was a really good team all year. Like A&M, Tennessee, those were the 2 most consistent teams all year. It's going to be fun.
It's probably not an accident, right? Like we talked about, like teams like really investing in their programs. Now they're seeing their ROI, right? Like this is not an accident that back-to-back years we're getting 2 programs making their first ever national championship appearance. Dude, this is heavyweight. This is a heavyweight battle. This is Fury and Wilder putting their foot in the bucket in the middle of the ring, and they're going to take heavyweight shots. We're going to see a lot of these dudes playing the professional level in a year. It literally has me ready to run through a wall because, Ben, like you fire me up. Like I've gotten pretty tight with a lot of these assistant coaches, and you realize, hey, there's a lot of different ways to steer a boat, right?
Right.
But it is very interesting that both of these programs, like watch Max Weiner make a mound visit. Want to know why they pulled Chris Cortez? Hey, I love you, buddy. It's okay. Just wasn't your night. Because the next guy knows that he's so unbelievably supported and believed in. And when it's not yours, guess what? We're going to go right back to the well with you tomorrow. Like, there is this idea that, yes, you can be critical and harsh on a kid, but I'm telling you that love and support works a lot more every single time and twice on Sunday. And these are the most talented dudes on the planet in this sport. Josh Elander's the exact same way. And by the way, I want to say this too. I don't know if it's maybe the two best assistant coaches in the country that have the best facial hair as well. These guys beard game off the charts between Ethan and Dermot. But all kidding aside, like watching him interact with his guys in the dugout, like it's not like, it's not this authoritative, like kind of conversation, right? It's more of a dialogue where you're allowing these dudes to kind of give you that feedback and you go, hey, let's tinker it a little bit here and watch them interact. And that's why, in my opinion, you've seen stars shine. Like, how often do we go into a tournament like this and go, hey, Cags and Honeycutt and right, like, and they deliver, right? Not only do they deliver, they exceed expectations, and that's what I'm expecting out of this national championship, right? Like, hey, it's been a little bit chalky for the 11.7 taste buds, right? But it doesn't mean it hadn't been damn good, right? So when we look at this finals, like, Kavairis Tears is like one of the craziest athletes I've ever seen, having maybe the most quiet season of all time. Tennessee's got 5 guys with 20 homers, right? We are learning about these stars that are doing insane things, and they're making it look easy. Like, they're making it look like slight work, like they've been there and done that before. A&M's in the same boat. So, man, I'm getting ready for a heavyweight fight. I don't know if UFC's going to have this pay-per-view and ready to roll, but someone's going to beat the hell out of somebody, and I expect them to deliver a couple punches back.
100%.
Hey, Jack, you're in Omaha. Tell the fans what the vibes are like. Do you think it's going to be a packed crowd of a lot of neutral people, or is it going to be split 50-50 A&M, Tennessee? What do you think? What is the finals going to be like in the stand?
Well, you're the best, man. Such a good question. I'm telling you right now, dude. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a war zone. You're talking about two fan bases that are hungry. Omaha's bottom line, their wallets getting filled this week. This could not have been a better situation for Omaha, right? You want to talk about an economic impact and living off of an event for a full year? These two fan bases, I was with the Tennessee coaching staff last night, sitting around going, they're coming. And they're coming in waves. So I'm like, I hear that. I'm thinking it's like, oh, it's going to be 80-20. Like, this is going to sound like not Lindsey Nelson. This is going to sound like Neyland Stadium. Like, this is going to be dumb, right? Because they have been really loud and really orange. Section 203 is a cult. And I say that in the most complimentary of ways. I'm going to release a video actually later today. But, man, Texas A&M fans, like, they've been listening to the Pencil Talk stuff all year. I don't say that out of an egotistical stroke. Like, I'm just meaning it as hey, I'm a small fish, and these are baseball fans. Texas A&M are baseball fans that are yearning for baseball knowledge, and they were so stoked to have someone to deliver it. I say 50-50. There will not be an empty seat in this house. Like, I have heard, like, from the Aggie faithful, like, a lot of them will come test the waters and come check it out. But you're talking about two schools that, like, would, I think, in my opinion, cut limbs off to win national championships.
100%.
And this being their first run.
You ain't wrong, man.
Bro, it's going to be nuts. I heard, because I drove through Knoxville on the way in, they go, oh, you think your RV's good, buddy? Wait till you see the traffic on the way from 15 hours from Knoxville. They're coming, and they're all pulling up, and I guess they're all going to be packed in the RV park with me. So it feels like a little bit maybe more orange. So I'll go 60-40, but I am not crazy enough to question the cult that is College Station, because they're going to be loud as hell too.
I would love to see like a Rose Bowl type situation where it's cut directly in half. You get the orange and the maroon. Oh man, the aerial pictures of that would be sick. But Jack, you kind of stole the words from my mouth. This is going to be a situation where there's two fan bases that would, I mean, they would spend their last penny to be here to win a national championship. They would cut limbs off to win a national championship. And look, I'm more excited about the intensity of the game from pitch number one, right? There's been a few College World Series out there where things didn't get intense until game 2 or game 3. Like, this is going to be from pitch 1 to the last pitch, like some of the most high leverage pitches that you can make. So as far as making picks here, and we'll make our picks and then we can kind of talk stories with Jack at the end, because some people might just be interested in, like, who do we think is going to win? I want to know, everybody, who you think is going to win and how many games, 2 games or 3 games.
Wait, before we get there, I was going to ask Jack one more thing about the fan. because we didn't talk so much about the games before, like Virginia, North Carolina, Kentucky. What fan bases and what team were you like impressed outside of the Tennessee and Texas A&M?
Kentucky. I think we knew that though. I think Big Blue Nation was awesome, man. They're going to be back. Coach John is building something really special. They're going to be back. Their fan base was really incredible. North Carolina traveled really well. Chapel Hill really well. I think. I mean, every game was basically sold out. You're seeing 40,000 plus at every ball game, which is super cool. Even at 10 o'clock in the morning, like what place in the world are you going to a baseball game that's going to have 40,000 plus at a 10 a.m. game? So to kind of answer your piece, like they all were really impressive. I don't know who's winning the Roccos right now. I've only been over there twice. I think it's still A&M.
I think Tennessee.
I think it's
Tennessee again. I know A&M early, so it's Tennessee back on top. So
I mean, the ACC gets a bad rap because when you look at the SEC, you look at Georgia, Tennessee, Auburn, Arkansas, Florida, Mississippi State, Ole Miss. These fan bases are big and they are strong. When you look at the ACC, you think of a Wake Forest. Not a big fan base. When you think of Miami, not a huge fan base. When you think of these schools, they're not big, mojo, massive state schools that are just overtaking wherever they go. So it's just always interesting to see. Because, like, when I think of North Carolina, Florida State, I don't think of big fan bases. I really don't. I think of whatever, like a couple fans. But when you think of, like, some of these schools that from the SEC, you're just like, dude, they'll go anywhere. They will show up on the moon if they have to. And so it's just real, because I'm an ACC guy, really unfortunate. But that's just the reality we live in. The SEC dominates. The SEC dominates, and that's why they're always in the finals every year. I mean, Ben, what's the stat? They've already won
15 of the last 16 College World Series finals had an SEC team in it. That goes all the way back to the UNC versus Oregon State 07. And then 7 straight, there's been at least one SEC team in it.
It matters. It matters.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the 3rd or 4th all SEC game finals. I know LSU, Florida in 17. Last year, LSU, Florida again.
Wasn't it Vandy, Florida in like 18 or no?
No. That was 19. There might have been one more, like a South Carolina versus.
No, South Carolina with North Carolina, not North Carolina with Oregon.
They lost to. I don't know. Anyways, that's besides the point. Anyway, let's make our picks here, and then we can do questions for Jack about Omaha, just so that anybody that's not interested can, quit the show. But look, this is the way I think it's going to play out. I think Tennessee either wins in 2 games or A&M wins in 3. And obviously there's people probably going to be like, well, it's 2 of the 4 possibilities. Well, I have scenarios for both. If it gets to a 3rd game, I don't see Tennessee beating what Justin Lampkin has going on for A&M, right? Like he's already dealt twice in the game 1 role. Like he pitched 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, no runs yesterday against Florida. Like, dude, there's times of the year where like your pitchers just figure it out. We saw it with like Hunter Elliott and Dylan DeLucia with Ole Miss a few years ago. We see it like who was it last year? Ty Floyd? No, not Ty, was it Ty Floyd last year for LSU? Yeah. And like there's just a time where like pitchers get on a roll and they figure out their stuff, and like that's how I feel about Lampkin. Now he's probably not gonna be able to go until Monday, just because of like the rest situation. That'll be 4 days rest. I guess he could technically go 3 days rest on Sunday, but I highly doubt it. You would have to assume Prager's probably going game 1 and maybe bullpen game 2, whoever they decide. But my point is, like, if it gets to a 3rd game, I think Lampkin shuts the door and like goes 6 scoreless or 6, and he'll hold Tennessee. Right. But on the same page, like Drew Beam's kind of been that guy too for a lot of the season, and he looks like he's going to go game 1. Possibly, it hasn't been announced, but like the way the schedule is, like Drew Beam going game 1, you get that win, that could propel you to a national championship the next day.
I'll tell you this: right after their win, when Tennessee closes the door, as A&M is filing onto the field to play their game, Tennessee sent A.J. Causey and Chris Damos to go through the bullpens. I actually offered to catch one of their bullpens. So they're like literally throwing bullpens. And the NCAA was like, what are they doing? They have to get – like this is A&M's field time. And they're like literally throwing rapid-fire pens. Do not be surprised for them to start those two. Like go to the starter. Like people criticize it, but they also haven't been watching college baseball all year. They're 9-1 when they go to it. I know Stamos only threw 8 pitches. This is a big lefty from Cal that has the ability to get one time through the lineup, and then they just
Stamos.
Dog, really good arm, a big, strong, physical kid, and he's frustrated. Like he wanted to throw more in that game.
He's a Greek boy.
He can do it, and I'm telling you, like you can go. I'm in this like you want to get greedy, right? But you go the bullpen game against their number one, and you still win. Dunzo. Then you come back with Drew Beam game 2, and it's just like you've taken all the life out of the sales. And like I'm not even belittling what those two have done because it's obviously worked. So I don't hate that idea because I'm not saying anyone over the top is stock. I'm just saying you got to get weird to get this A&M offense off balance. And I don't hate getting weird game 1. Then you come back with your ace and beam in game 2. And then I one up you in the sense that game 3, Lampkin was unbelievable. Dude, like his shit was like, this is their third guy, and you just told me that who got hurt last week? What? Xander Seacrest, and I know again, this is a guy that I've gotten pretty close with, has been without question statistically one of the best SEC arms for the last month of the year, and he just continues to win in these huge games. He understands his stuff better than anyone on the planet. 4 pitches for a strike whenever he wants. The pitch ability is off the charts. Like I wouldn't want to see him. But to me, like, they're going to continue. Like, and this is where, like, Dimitri, like, what is your definition of success? It's genuine. Yeah, he wants to win a championship, but he's going to stick with the dudes that got him here. Like, his loyalty for his people is, Patella, like, it's different. So he's going to ride out his gut. So it is going to be interesting to see who they go with game 1. Because, in my opinion, if they go Beam, then they'll go Seekers game 2, and then they'll Johnny Holstaff at game 3. I mean, well, it'll be, I don't know. I can see this thing going so many different ways.
Guys, it's in my head now. I can't get it out. Is there a scenario? I'm going to play the scenario out. Tell me if it's possible. A&M somehow sneaks out a win. Game 1. Chris Cortez comes out of nowhere and throws the fucking gem on Sunday. A&M sweeps in 2.
I don't know if they'll start Cortez. I just don't think they'll do it. He's too valuable at the back end of the bullpen.
That guy, dude, he's one of my favorite arms.
Yeah, you called it like last year, maybe it was 2 years ago. You're like, this guy's stuff is nasty. Like it's gonna play tremendous.
Like, he is one of my favorite arms. And I mean, I get it as a pitcher. You're not gonna have it every day. It might take 3 weeks. You might go through a 3-week spell where you just don't have it. It's baseball. It happens. Shit fucking happens in this sport. It's one of the hardest sports for a reason. But I'm telling you guys, Chris Cortez, Schlossnagel is a chess player. Vitello is a chess player. Sloth is going to get Cortez back out there in a very high leverage situation, and he's going to eat it up like nothing. And everyone's going to forget that Cortez ever even pitched against Florida and went 8 straight with balls. People will forget. I've already forgot about it because Chris Cortez I think he's going to be the Brandon Neely of this final series, and I don't know why. I just could see it. He had the ability to do it. It's just did the opportunity play out for him to take that role. But with all that being said, I don't see a way Tennessee losing.
Yeah, I will give Dimitri credit here. He did call preseason Tennessee was going to win the national championship, and I saw that clip floating around social media where you projected Tennessee to win the national championship. And honestly, I did exactly what I wanted to do. I went on multiple shows, like multiple podcasts preseason, and I picked a different national champion on every single one. And there was one, the college baseball betting show, where I said, I'm going to take Tennessee. But I also had Arkansas on, I think, this show, and I think I picked Kentucky on a different show. So, like, I was just spraying bullets so that one clip would go viral. You stuck with your gut, and Jack, you did the same thing with Tennessee.
Hey, hand up. I might have said it on that show, but in my Omaha 8, I did not have Tennessee in it, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't? Oh, I thought you did. I know Jack picked Tennessee
Yeah,
preseason
I did
to
it.
win the national
I had
championship.
Florida State in it. I don't remember who else, but I did not have Tennessee in my Omaha 8. But I thought Tennessee was going to be really good this year. Which is
Yeah.
It's crazy that Tennessee was 19-1 to win the College World Series preseason, and A&M I think was 30-1 preseason. So, and I know Jack's got a future on Tennessee. I know he'll be rooting on those
I have
guys.
no idea what you're talking about.
Hypothetically, a future that he got. My little brother, when my little brother was in Tennessee or Louisiana, he put $13 down to win 260 or 275 on A&M before opening weekend. So he's got an A&M ticket. He's pretty pumped about that. But anyways, let's make our picks here. I'm gonna say Texas A&M wins it in 3. And this is great news for Vol Nation. It's been a team that I don't know, obviously I like the team and I think that they're incredible, but A&M was one of those teams early in the year that I said was going to be really good and kind of got laughed at a little bit on social media. So when I close my eyes, and obviously this series is crazy, right? Like Tennessee should win the series, but at the same time, you can see A&M doing it. When I close my eyes, I can see Braden Montgomery holding up that trophy in his scooter and people being like, wow, they just won a national championship without their All-American. I think that storyline plays a lot. But look, Tennessee fans, you should be thankful that I'm not picking the Vols because I know these two guys are. I'm just rooting for a third game. I'll be honest. I don't care who wins. I just want the third game to happen. Give me a Monday night baseball game.
I love that. All in on that.
Tennessee, I mean, I'm going with Tennessee here. A&M had the chance to do something pretty cool and pretty unprecedented in this day and age. If they sweep this final, they're going to go undefeated in the whole entire postseason. That's fucking impressive. Like I don't
remember we laughed at that prop that Bet Rivers came up with.
Is that fucking crazy?
But I just think Tennessee's got the star power. They've got the mojo. They've got the experience. I think they've got all the cards in their favor. And they've got a guy that won't fuck it up for them, which is Tony Vitello. I don't think he makes too many mistakes from the dugout. So I'm going to go with Tennessee here. But I would love a third game. I want a winner take all.
I think people that have heard me all year kind of know where my head and heart are. But I want to make something very clear. I'm going to release a video tomorrow. I've kind of sat on it because it does seem super egotistical, but it was a special moment for me after A&M won. Entire A&M's fan section started chanting "pencil guy," so it's making this pick a whole lot more difficult. I'm almost hesitant to not make a pick because I'm going to media day tomorrow and going to be around both of these programs and do a ton of stuff before the championship on Saturday.
Jack's just picking that both teams have fun.
Can I literally pick costume battle? I just want both teams to have a good time because I kind of want to. Call me Chalkity Chalk, but I really have this has been one of the coolest week and a halves of my life on behalf of you guys and Home Field Apparel, making this thing happen. I literally just want this to last forever. That's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for it to go to game 3, and I want them to play 45 innings, and I want to stay in Omaha forever. That's what I want. That's my pick.
Shout out to the Teal Ninja. All right, let's get to some Q&A and some ideas here.
Hit me.
My first idea. Why on Friday, June 21st, a scheduled off day, is there not an All-Star game, a home run derby, and a celebrity All-Star game? The Golden Spikes, they're giving away the Golden Spike. Charlie Condon's already going to be here, and Travis Bazzana and Hankins Smith. There's going to be guys that are already here. Let's have a home run derby. Let's have an All-Star game. Let's make this a whole event. Let's have a celebrity softball game where Jack can hit a homer and feel good and run around the bases. Come on. What are we doing? We have a scheduled off day on a Friday.
I got to tell you, your idea was perfect. But if the bar is low enough for me to play in a celebrity All-Star game, it must not be a pretty loaded cast and crew. So I love where your head's at, though. Couldn't you close your eyes and see and just picture Charlie Condon and Cags hitting 45 home runs,
in a sick 1990s style All-Star game BP top with
in
the
a
cool
home
hats.
field in a
oh my god,
please,
apparel
please
pullover.
Please, dude, home field. even unbelievable to me. You guys want to go freaking crazy. Let us go call these guys before their draft day and let them hit some ding dongs at whatever ballpark we can find. This is a no-brainer.
Dude, all I'm saying is like now with NIL, there is no excuse not to have a home run derby because everybody would be like, oh, the draft guys don't want to do it and get hurt, or like, there's no reason to do it. Dude, put up like $100,000 grand prize and like let's go to war. Let's have an 8 to 16 person home run derby. It's crazy.
Imagine one dude rolls up in a Raising Cane jersey, one dude rolls up in an All-State jersey, but with their school hat. They've got their school hat on, like, whatever. Florida. And then it's All-State in good hand jersey. Raising Cane. And there's some random ass bullshit company. You got 8 of them. And they hit a home run derby. Make it corporate. Make it funny, but corporate. Someone wins.
So sick.
It would be the most watched sporting event on Friday. I honestly think it would outdraw hockey. Maybe I'm optimistic here, but people would love a college home run derby. So like that needs to happen, especially if you're going to have a scheduled off day, which maybe they're like leaning towards that idea. Like maybe not next year, but a couple years down the road, like let's have this off day. Let's have an event day in Omaha. Keep the fans entertained. I'm going to be optimistic about that because I really, 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 really want that to happen. So that's my idea. Number 2, Jack, is Aaron Fitt taller in person than he looks online? Because I say he is.
Definitely tall.
Dude, I wanted to make that a point. I met him at Mercer 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago. He was at a Mercer Wofford game. I was there broadcasting on ESPN Plus. I came down. Dude, he's like 5'11". Like he's actually a lot taller than he looks. So I want to make that known because I love Aaron Fitt. And I want people to know he's not like a short leprechaun, which I've seen him called. I've seen him called that online. It sucks.
Oh, that's rude.
He's pretty tall.
I was going to say, confirmed 3 things. Confirmed great dude. Confirmed great head of hair. Fantastic lettuce. It just feels like he should be on a surfboard somewhere.
Well, it's funny. Like Aaron Fitt is carrying those D1 guys in hair. Everybody else is bald. Like Kendall, Rooney, Stitchhead, Kyle Peterson, Joe Healy. All those guys are bald. So like Aaron's got to do his part in keeping that hair count up.
I'll say this too. KP, as a fellow flip-flop wearer, we've been able to bond over our ability to pull off tongs in public. As we've said, I'd like to say too, we saw him in Hoover, especially when he did the Wake Up Mincy show right after us. He is so yoked. Like he's a big dude, man.
He is giant.
He's the strongest man alive. And also really like genuine dude. So I appreciate his authenticity this week. He's been great to talk to, and a flip-flop guy. So like fucking love.
Hey Jack, I have a pair of Nocona leather limited edition flip-flop that I've worn maybe 2 times that I won in a raffle from Baseball America. Do you want them?
No.
Well, wait. I want to make this clear too. Jack might have the biggest feet I've ever seen on a human being. Dude, when you dislocated your toe, I looked at your feet, and this was going back to like SEC tournament. You dislocated your toe. You got big feet, kid. Like, what are they, 14s?
Yeah. 14 and a half, but it's underwhelming. They say, big shoes, but small socks.
I'm 14. I'm 14.
Dimitri, you got big feet too?
I'm 14.
Dude, I'm a 12 and a half and feel like a baby compared to you guys.
I will say that my toe was, I think it was just it did a disservice, Ben, because my toe was so broken that it was gigantic. So my toe
maybe,
was big.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe. We didn't talk about that enough.
Anyway, Jack. I haven't worn them. They're in the box still.
Really? Why? Hey, if you're not going to wear them, well, hey, we've been pulling off the jersey swap is real. The hat exchange is becoming dynamite. I don't know if you guys saw my most recent interview. I am going to do a hamstring swap with Jace Laviolette. He's agreed. I've got a scalpel ready to go. I'm that kind of human being, so I will be doing that later today. We'll have to. What about like a shoe exchange, Dimitri? I'll get you a pair of shoes. I'll get your.
We'll do a flop exchange.
Beautiful.
I would love that. I would love to mediate that.
Nobody else has them.
Yeah, dude, I would be honored. I would be honored as hell to wear those flops.
You got them. They're yours.
Hell in.
Dimitri, you got any questions for Jack here? This is your time to ask.
I asked me questions about the fan, and he answered them brilliantly.
Nice. Jack, any good stories you want to tell here?
There's been a lot. There's a lot.
Man, wait. Before Jack just dive into it, just know it's about to be 3 a.m. over here. I'm losing my shit. So if you make a story, I better be fucking thrilled and just absolutely glued.
That was rude.
Pick your best one.
You're not worthy now.
Yeah.
No, there's been so many unbelievable moments.
Pick one good one.
The dap herd around the world was pretty awesome. As an outspoken man crush guy on Tony Vitello, and I know that I've joked about it a lot, but like how awesome behind the scenes he's been to me, dapping him up and getting a hug on him after their big come from behind win and like interviewing the boys. I got back to my phone and like literally I think I had 800 text messages like, "You're such an idiot." I was like, "What'd I do?" And like he'd be on right for you and gave you a hug after their win. Like, I hate you.
The Vitello hug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Vitello hug after the FSU win was pretty legendary. Just because, like, for a weird, demented second, I felt like I was on the team. Like, it was like that exciting on the field. So that was a cool moment for sure. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. That was. It wasn't even a peak of the trip. There's been a lot of craziness. So before we go to bed, I do want to thank you guys again. I think learning and seeing in person what y'all's brand that you've created and allowed me to come be a part of this year and help. No,
you're gonna make me mad.
You're gonna piss me off.
You're gonna make me mad. I'm gonna have to mute your mic. No, I'm just saying, like, dude, you're the one that's there doing the content. We haven't done anything for you. We got a red, white, and blue logo that like people recognize. That's it.
No doubt. But it's been cool to know that listeners have been on board. Like, it's one thing to know that you guys are all listening right now, but like to see and meet you guys, like that's been really cool, right? Like that's awesome. I didn't have that before. You guys like
look. The only thing we did for you, Jack, is just allowed you to be friends with our following and our listeners because they are loyal, diehard people that we would go to war for. Like it's funny. I bring this up like probably once a year on the pod, but like I still know. Like when we get a new follower and they start engaging with us either on YouTube or Twitter or email or whatever, website, Patreon, like I remember everybody. And like I can almost pinpoint exactly when they became a follower. And like I remember that. And it's funny because they don't play well with outsiders. Like a lot of these guys are loyal to us and like will talk crap about other college baseball people, or if somebody comes into our mentions like being rude to us, like they have our back. Like that's probably the best asset we gave you is like we let you into the family. And now like, but it's getting to the point now where like they're almost turning on me and Dimitri and like they're becoming Jack guys. So like we got to have the same reciprocal thing. Like you got to like make sure that they're nice to us now.
Nah, dude, but that's what it was. I felt that like dying support more than ever, like people adding me and stuff. And you guys got to understand, I'm horrible. Like I'm golden retriever energy. So like at the end of nights, I'm sure you guys have felt it. I'm like going through all of these texts and tweets and mentions like at nighttime. And like by the time I catch up, I'm like, damn, like I don't know what we're going to call our 11-7 family, but they got me feeling like I'm on top of the world.
Dude, they're the best. They're the best fans ever. I love them.
What if Jack is just a Trojan horse and we let him inside the walls of Troy?
Yeah, that's what it is. He's inside the walls.
I think he is going to fucking just stab us in the heart. My heart is just going to crumble into pieces, and he's going to take everyone with him. And Pencil Talk is going to be the king of college baseball.
I hope it gets to that point. I hope it does. But this is a good situation that we're in, and it's funny. Like another thing I want to add on. Obviously, this is the time of year where there's like college baseball, like casuals, you could call it, like or just fans of the school that are playing, and like they can be mean and ruthless online. I used to hate Omaha, like doing social media during Omaha, year 1, 2, and 3, that we did this because I was like, God, dude, these people are attacking us, like saying we don't know like what we're talking about, or like we hate their team or this or that. Well, it's gotten to the point now. I love Omaha because I can post whatever I want on Twitter. And like, no, we got dudes in the corner ready to fight. Like somebody comes in, a casual comes in, I don't know, like a Tennessee fan or like, it doesn't matter. Like Florida, it doesn't matter. Virginia, And like they'll come in and be like, y'all call yourselves a college baseball account, and like somebody will comment underneath and be like, dude, we haven't seen you tweet about college baseball all year. You don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, that's my boy, man. Like that's Big Mike in the corner, or like, you know, whoever, James or whoever.
We have so many inside jokes and just like little shit that we do on Twitter.
Well, we're so consistent on Twitter that like our real fans understand like when we're being sarcastic or like when we're trying to, you know, cause some drama or whatever. Like they get it, right? And it's like obviously this means nothing, but it's just really cool to me. I know it's cool to Dimitri and Jack that like there is a very loyal college baseball fan base that they deserve the best. So, I mean, I'm about to tear up. This is awesome.
Wait, can I add this show on one thing, Jack? This is for you. What I am as busy as I am on a completely different time zone. I'm watching a game at 3 a.m. and as I'm going to bed, I'm like going through Twitter, catching up on all your videos. Dude, there's nobody better, man.
There's nobody better, Jack, dude. You're freaking killing it, man.
Which you do. And I can't be more thankful that Ben texted me and goes, what do you think of this Jack DeLong champ? We didn't know your name at the time. We just called you champs.
That's cool.
What do you think of this guy? I literally took a 1-minute scroll through your Twitter and I was like, he played. Because my biggest priority was I only want people that play the sport.
Yeah.
I don't want any dweebs in here that didn't play the sport. No offense to them. They can do what they do. I just, in my corner, this group that we have built, I want baseball guys that play the sport and they get it. And I go, dude, I like him. He's got the personality. He's got the flow. He's got the suave. He's got a little bit of the juice. He's got the energy. He's got it. I'm in. It was October. This was October.
Yeah.
This was actually way last year. And then
like, dude, I knew the first day I met Jack. Like, obviously, I followed him on Twitter for a while, but meeting you at the CAA tournament last year, like around middle of May, and it was like a no-brainer. It was like, dude, this kid gets it. Like, I've been saying it since the start. Like, you're the next face of college baseball, and like, I hope. I mean, obviously, you're like as humble as they come, but like, you're starting to see now, like the relationships you're building and the people that are coming up and approaching you. Like, it's a matter of, like, you're Mike Monaco 2.0. Like, Monaco was the same way. Like, I still remember 2019. Like, he was like the up and coming, like fresh name, and like now he's doing College World Series, and like people love him. Like, that's it was immediate, right? So. Obviously, we're going to need our loyal 11.7 followers to humble Jack even more. Like, let's downgrade him a little bit. Let's rough him up because we've been bragging about him. But dude, there is nobody that's doing content even close to you. And like, obviously, we're appreciative of this season. This has been a blast.
I mean,
you're a go-getter.
Delayed the episode because a certain someone called him on the phone. A very, very certain prominent someone called him on the phone. And we had to wait. It's a dude. It's a dude in the college baseball world, and it's just like, yo, what the fuck?
That's the coolest part. It's just the relationship piece. Like, I told y'all from the jump, I was like, I struggle with the content thing because, like, I don't know if y'all see, like, in these videos of me down on this field, like, I forget to ask for interviews. Like, I legitimately, like, totally forget because I'm in some sick way. I'm like, I just want to, like, know what you guys are thinking and feel like. And then I'm like, I should probably be getting this shit. So, man, we should have played Marvin's Room, like, during that little segment because y'all got me crying in the club. I appreciate the kind words, but it's been a hell of a fucking ride. We're just getting started. What I tell you,
also, last thing we're going to end on, we're going to do one more show as far as college baseball, and then we have some off-season ideas. But we got to get like an 11.7 NCAA football, like online dynasty league or whatever.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
you mentioned
when NCAA football comes out, the video game, like we got to get, I don't know, like 30 of our fans, like us, or maybe 29 of our fans, and then us 3, and we all just got to play NCAA football together in the off season. I think that'll be fun.
I will say this too. There have been guys that have DM'd me, and like y'all know, like I'm terrible. Like, to be honest, when I'm on social media, it's to post. I'm never on it to be on it. Like
Jack does not interact with me on social media at all.
I'm so bad at it. I honestly, it overwhelms the shit out of me. So like, I just don't even like start. So like, as I'm going through, man, like for anyone who's come up or I've gone back and seen DMs and be like, hey, I see you at the game. Like, Bro, just come say hello, man. Like, there have been some people that I've gotten to sit and talk with that I've been listening since freaking 2021 with Ben and James, and then Ben and Dimitri. And it's like, yo, that is so cool for me to like now like be indoctrinated in that group. So I'm sorry. I promise. Like, hell, like ask my girl. This is not intentional. I cannot help my ADD brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like, please come say hello. It's been awesome meeting everyone that has come up and want to grab a pic or whatever. I don't get it. I've got a face for radio. Like, let's just have a conversation. Grab a hot dog. Watch some games. Like, please come say hello.
Yeah. But we'll end on that. Man, we're excited for this weekend. We'll do a recap episode here at the end next week. And then Jack's going to drive 15 hours back. We've never done a recap episode. We've always said we would. We never did. So
4
maybe
years running, Jack.
I'll hold you. I got it.
4 years running, we disappear.
We disappear in the offseason. That's like part of our brand. But we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop disappearing. We're gonna do some offseason content.
Why don't we do one on Monday? No matter what.
No matter what.
Monday, if there's a game 3.
Vontae Mack, no matter what.
Monday morning, hey, for those that see that guy right there? That's the Creighton basketball arena. Creighton basketball arena.
Wait,
The teal
did you guys
nation
just
there
miss
parked
my
right
reference?
by it.
Did you
Hey,
guys just
Monday
miss my
morning, I'm
reference?
walking over to this Hilton, and we're gonna do another pod. It's gonna be perfect. Game plan, obviously, for the Monday big time Game 3 championship, or we'll break down what the hell just happened.
Wait, you guys missed my Vontae Mack, no matter what.
I missed it.
I missed it too. Sorry.
Did you not
All
get
right.
it?
No.
Vontae Mack, no matter what, draft day. He writes it on the yellow paper.
Vontae Mack, no matter what. Yeah.
Oh.
Good,
I didn't know
good.
it was his
That's
name.
good. That's good.
All right.
Anyway,
We need to hang up before it gets too weird. But anyways, y'all enjoy college baseball this weekend. Only 3 days left, or only guaranteed 2 days left. But we'll be back. We'll do a recap episode, guaranteed Monday. See ya.